What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back at again with another video. So I'm going to check out WWE Wrestlemania 41's biggest problem. Now, there are some fair criticisms to give to, WWE and Triple H and what they've been doing on the road to WrestleMania. Are there some good things that I have been enjoying? For sure. Are there some things that could be a little bit better on this build to, what they're going to tout probably as one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time? Of course. And I think that's with anything. Well, I think that's with, any year. Obviously, a lot of people felt like last year's WrestleMania had a bigger hype and big feel to it, which it did in relations to what they were doing, mainly with the main event with The Rock, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. That was good. Granted, I like what they're doing with the, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins angle. I like that. I'm still enjoying what they're doing with the whole heel turn from John Cena. I think that's been a very noticeable point, even though some people are, now claiming that they're not liking this heel turn. They feel like it's been lackluster. And then there's been a lot of criticism from what they've been doing with Gunther and Jey Uso. I think that one's kind of taking a backseat to a lot of things. So it's fair to have the criticism there. The hype from last year still seems like it's a little bit more impactful than this year, but we still got some weeks away, and I'm still looking forward to seeing how some of these matches are going to play out for WrestleMania. So we'll see what WrestleMania has to say about all of this. Let's get right into this video, man.
The WWE as a pro wrestling business is booming. And if you need reminding of this, don't worry. WWE, specifically Triple H, will remind you directly every week on Raw and SmackDown. The WWE boom period started around 2022, with WWE's Bloodline storyline receiving rave reviews, combined with Vince McMahon being forced out of the WWE. It was in essence the right place at the right time for the WWE product to be revered again by fans, as Triple H was very much seen as the golden boy thanks to his booking of NXT, and for the most part his early work on the main roster as head of creative was incredible. The game put focus on lengthy storytelling, and there was definitely a sense that the shows were being produced with love and passion. This was also felt by the talent, as talent across the board spoke out regarding how great the atmosphere was in WWE now that Vince McMahon had disappeared. This creative spark led to a massive surge of success for the company. Shows began to sell out left, right, and center. Celebrities wanted to get involved in the pro wrestling industry. For the first time since the Attitude Era, pro wrestling was cool again. Unfortunately, for the first 3 months of 2025, something has happened. Whilst the shows remain sold out across the world, and whilst ratings and social media metrics remain healthy, the fan reception to the product has drastically altered. There's a strong portion of the audience who find themselves disgruntled with the product. But how has this happened? How has Triple H gone from having the fans on his side to the fans turning against him just weeks away from the WWE's?
Because it's the IWC. What are we talking about? I can answer that for you, bro. Are there some fair criticisms? Yes. Could things be better? For sure. I mean, you can say that about any era, especially in the Attitude Era, the Golden Age, the Ruthless Aggression Era. Any era, there could have always been better booking decisions, better matches, better build-up, better stories. Hell, how many times have we seen WrestleMania builds be dog shit, but the match ended up being fucking a classic? Or maybe the build-up was fantastic, and then the match was dog shit. It happens. But it's the IWC, bro. Like, let's keep it a buck. Not saying that some of the criticisms aren't valid and fair, but I will say that's really just what it's always going to be.
Biggest show of the calendar year. A lot of the creative turmoil that is going on in WWE centers around WrestleMania 41, and it all started at the 2025 Royal Rumble. Jey Uso and Charlotte Flair weren't exactly popular winners of the respective Rumbles, and the YouTube dislikes spoke for themselves. When it came to Jey, whilst it was great that Triple H was rewarding a wrestler for getting over with the audience, the demand to see Jey as world champion and the demand to see Jey versus Gunther yet again just wasn't at the level he envisioned. It's like the Rumble sent everything off track, and since the backlash to the Rumble, Triple H has been scrambling from a creative aspect. When it comes to Raw, to Triple H's credit, the shows have been mostly solid. The 2.5-hour runtime definitely helps, and having Cody Rhodes, who is cemented as the face of WWE, appearing on the show really helps. A lot of the key segments, such as John Cena's explanation for turning heel, have taken place on the show, and this has made the show feel like a major deal. SmackDown, on the other hand, has been a total and utter train wreck of a TV show. When the show was officially announced to go to 3 hours, fans had concerns. There was no...
And I've been saying that. That's hurted so bad, bro. I know some of y'all was like, oh, it's going to help other talent get on and get over. In a perfect world, maybe, bro. But no, it's not working, dog. It's too long. Your wrestling show shouldn't be almost as long as a standard PLE, bro. It shouldn't. I stand by that. It doesn't matter if it's Raw or SmackDown. I stand by 3 hours is just too much. And considering that the roster on SmackDown is so thinned out, no
need for the show to go to 3 hours, but if WWE or the USA Network insisted, then the show was going to need to utilize more underutilized talent such as Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. The 3-hour editions of the Blue brand have been exhausting to sit through, and WWE have allowed a subpar product to be hidden by rabid European crowds, and fans can see right through what WWE are trying to do. It was announced in early 2025 that Road Dogg was now the lead writer for SmackDown. Road Dogg's track record for writing for SmackDown, well, isn't exactly great, as he was the man who oversaw Jinder Mahal's infamous WWE title reign.
Well, to be honest with you, Vince was definitely running that shit. let's keep it a buck. Vince was the real culprit behind even making that happen, because he was expecting I think they were doing like an Indian tour run. He was expecting to really kind of capitalize off that, and it didn't fucking work.
During this time, the show was seeing half-empty arenas, and Road Dogg spent most of his free time arguing with fans on social media regarding the quality of the product. Some fans on X have theorized that Triple H isn't involved in SmackDown in any capacity, and that's why the show has been so awfully bad. And whilst this hasn't been confirmed, it's evident that Triple H isn't a fan of the 3-hour product. And one of the first things he discussed when the announcement was made was how the show will eventually revert back to a 2-hour format.
Yeah, which is the best format, which I can't fucking wait. Makes the show just that much better. I'm sorry, for those who love the 3-hour format, hey, this is where we agree to disagree.
There's an argument to be made that the game is creatively burnt out, and it's easy to see when looking at the current state of the product. WWE are actively hiring new writers and producers, and this may be Triple H and TKO's way of shaking things up before there's no turning back. We're just a matter of weeks away from WrestleMania 41, the biggest show of the year, and fan excitement couldn't be any lower. Fans have expressed disappointment with both the match card and the build, and there's a sense that WWE are going through the motions when it comes to what is supposed to be their signature show. The main event of Night 2 is said to be Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the WWE title. Without a doubt, WWE are hoping that the shocking Cena heel turn is enough to sell WrestleMania this year, and both Rhodes and Cena have done a great job in selling the match. Arguably, the match wouldn't have been big enough as a traditional babyface versus babyface matchup, yet the heel turn certainly takes the match to a whole new level. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for other key matches on the show. The world title feud between Gunther and Jey Uso has been uninspiring and lifeless. WWE attempted to build a match by having Jey squash Theory on Raw, and this led to a surge of backlash, with fans stating that burying Theory isn't going to convince them that Jey should win the world title. Whilst Jey definitely has his supporters, the idea of Jey as world champion is a bleak reality for many fans, and all signs indicate WWE crowning Jey next month.
And here's the thing, man. I get it. Some people don't like it. Cool. But guess what? The fans there, they like it, bro. They do. I don't have a problem with it. You know, I'm one of those people which I think it would be great to see that, for him to have that moment, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it play out. But I know there is a lot of the fan base online that hates the idea that he's even in that spot. So
WWE Women's title will also be defended in a match between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair, and the build to their match has been alarming. WWE have completely buried Stratton in the build, and their verbal face-off on SmackDown from Italy completely exposed Stratton.
Oh my
This
God.
is a scripted medium, and there was no reason for WWE to make Stratton look as bad as they did.
They made
the only
her
way they can
look-
rectify this is by having Stratton defeat Flair clean on the grandest stage.
Yeah, bro. Which I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's probably not happening. I think Charlotte's winning, bro. And maybe Tiffany Stratton ends up getting the title back, but it's over. She's not fucking winning. I will be thoroughly surprised if she won that fucking match.
But with this being a Charlotte Flair matchup, a Flair win and another women's title reign wouldn't be exactly out of the question. The biggest non-title match on the card is
right
the triple
here
threat between CM Punk, Seth
this
Rollins,
is the match
and Roman
right here,
Reigns.
boy.
And ultimately, this has been the most frustrating build so far. For weeks, WWE have had Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins come to the ring during an international broadcast and declare that the other top names in the feud aren't on the show.
Yeah.
And they will be at a different show.
Yeah.
This is negative booking and makes zero sense. Why are WWE rubbing it in fans' face that they haven't spent a fortune on tickets and the biggest stars aren't even there? The three men would eventually face off on SmackDown from Italy, and fans were highly critical of the verbal interactions. The three men have had deep and interconnected lore and continuity, yet WWE decided to ignore all of this and explain that Reigns' issues with Punk was the fact that he eliminated him from the annual Royal Rumble. Is that the best the WWE can do? This is surface level storytelling and not strong enough for a match that is a strong contender to headline night 1 of WrestleMania.
Well, I mean, like y'all been saying to me, be patient. Bro, we still have how many fucking weeks? Like 3-4 weeks left until WrestleMania. So they're doing a contract signing. I know he recorded this, posted this like a day ago as of me filming this, but they still had the contract signing. What are we talking about? That was his initial reason for being upset. You saw it when it happened. You saw when CM Punk eliminated Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was like, "What the fuck, bro? Like, what are you doing?" He was upset about it. That's simple. And we know CM Punk and Seth hate each other. So I don't know about this. I don't know about this particular criticism right here, considering they have a contract signing and we don't know what the favor is for CM Punk, and they still have many more weeks. You know, we still have a few more weeks left before the show even happens.
But in relation to the main event of night 1, a healthy number of fans are pushing for Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley to receive the nod. The match has all the components for a classic WrestleMania match, and there's an actual logical, compelling storyline heading into the triple threat. Outside of the discussed matches, there are numerous wrestlers such as LA Knight, Sami Zayn, and champions from both brands without clear direction. And based on rumors, WWE could be replicating WrestleMania 2000 with the amount of multi-person matches set for the show.
Yeah.
And while some would claim that the dislike for the current product is overblown, the product is a far cry from the 2023-2024 run that Triple H was on. They seem to be making up plans as they go along, and a lot of the booking is frustrating and sometimes downright bizarre. The Rock's booking over the past 12 months has led to a lot of questions from fans.
Yeah.
The Rock returned at Bad Blood in the main event, counted at 3, then dipped. Solo Sikoa would state that this was part of the plan, then it was never mentioned again.
Yeah, that was never mentioned. We I ain't gonna lie to you. If there's any confusion from the booking standpoint here, is definitely on the Rock's end, because this is just me having my own theory about this. I do think him coming back at Bad Blood was potentially supposed to be something involving maybe him being at WrestleMania. I think the idea was maybe him being at WrestleMania at some point, maybe facing Roman, but things have changed with, his movie, contracts and stuff like that. And him, most likely he's not going to be in a wrestling capacity at this year's WrestleMania. I think plans had changed and they started to pivot in another direction. That's just my opinion on it. Because remember, at one point last year, he said, hey, he's going to come back to face Cody. Then it became, I don't want to face you, bro. I want your soul. So at that point, they already knew John was most likely going to turn heel. They had probably planned that, but I don't think that was the initial plan from last year's WrestleMania to this year's WrestleMania. Even with The Rock's numerous appearances, I don't think that was the plan. I could be wrong there. I just don't think that was initially the plan.
Is The Rock showing up, doing whatever he feels like, then going back to Hollywood? Well, that's what it feels like. And bizarrely, The Rock showed up on Raw in the Netflix premiere as a babyface, and then he stated that he and Rhodes made up off-screen.
Yeah.
And this was really annoying to hear, as the two engaged in a blood feud on the road to WrestleMania 40, and it made Rhodes look incredibly weak as WWE.
Yeah, bro, I get it. He was a babyface to show off Netflix to all the investors and stuff, so he had to be a good guy. No, bro, fuck all that, bro. He beat the dog piss out of you. And then it didn't matter because he still ended up beating the dog piss out of you this year. This whole situation with The Rock, definitely convoluted. I love The Rock, but none of this shit really makes sense. They're just trying to make the best sense of it. And now we got the heel turn. I mean, hell, John Cena hasn't even mentioned why he's aligned with The Rock at all. I don't even know if he will.
His top credible babyface by explaining that the two just made amends without any physicality. The Rock would then backtrack on this by stating that he wanted Rhodes to sell his soul to him at Elimination Chamber. This would turn out to be the catalyst for Cena's heel turn. And WWE have yet to discuss the relationship between The Rock and John Cena, and there's been no mention as to what selling your soul really means in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
WWE also used Travis Scott for the segment, and this has also been ignored in subsequent episodes of television. On this topic, The Rock had an interesting comment to make on the creative relationship between himself and Triple H during a WWE press conference earlier this year. Triple H loves this business. I've known him for a long time. He's doing a great job and I talk with him often. What I like about Triple H is he'll present me with something, I like it, we'll chop it up, and I'll present him with something else. What I like about Paul is, it's always been this way with Paul even when we were wrestling. It's, hey, let's do something unpredictable, something that's bold. And why is The Rock directly changing Triple H's creative? Yes, The Rock is on the board of directors, but Triple H is the reason that the WWE product is booming right now. So why isn't he just leaving Triple H to do his thing? It's a weird dynamic, and it will be interesting to see how The Rock's involvement continues over the next few months. Potential internal issues aside, WWE can turn this around. They really need some solid weeks of television, and they need to deliver a universally acclaimed WrestleMania broadcast. The show needs to have iconic moments, and they need to set the tone for the next 12 months of their programming. Coming out of the show will be a huge test for WWE, as they need to stop relying on the fact that their product is perceived as a hot-ticketed event and begin to once again deliver a product that is worthy of a substantial price tag. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below.
Hey, the way I see it, we still got some weeks left, so I'm willing to see how things play out for sure. But I will say this. There are things that could be better about these shows going into WrestleMania. And there are, some confusion going on, especially involving The Rock. And I think obviously that's just because of the power play that he has since he's a part of the board in TKO. And, they kind of just let him do his thing. So he kind of has free reign to change up anything on the fucking card. Well, not even just the card itself, but like creative. Hopefully we can get a concise story to some of these things. I'm willing to still, wait for things to play out because we still have a few more weeks. So I'm not going to be like, oh, this is a horrible build, because I still find it entertaining at points. But I can understand the criticism that people are giving. But I also understand that this is, a lot of this criticism is just people wanting things to happen a certain way, and it's not. Simple as that. Well, my guy didn't win, or my girl didn't win, so that means the build is awful. So you got to take that into consideration. And it also comes down to, what are these fans feeling like when they're going to these events and venues? Do they have that same type of reaction, that same type of feeling? So, hey, y'all comment down below. Let me know how y'all feeling about WrestleMania 41's build so far at the present moment we're at right now. But I appreciate all love and support. Road to 150K. Appreciate y'all kicking in with me. See y'all next one. Peace.